Greetings, Green Team goers. I hope you're in the mood for another round of Radical Retro Turtle Toy Talk. I like to think most of my installments have at least been okay, but I'm not going to lie to you. This week will be nothing but a rotten pile of rubbish and will stink to the high heavens. In fact, we should post this week's video reissue on That Nasty Toy Stench, if there were such a site. The blame for this rancid review rests on this week's subject, whose musty moniker is Muckman. Forgive me if I seem biased this week, but Muckman is one of my absolute favorite figures, both in and out of TMNT, of all time. Between his sickening sculpt, his fetid features, and his acrid accessories, there is no going wrong with Muckman. He came out in 1990, 2 years into the first Playmates Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles toy line. In addition to that original line, Muckman also appeared in the 1987 cartoon. While over the following 20 years we got plenty of totally tubular turtle toys, Muckman to me is a tough one to top. Muckman, if you've never seen him, is literally a walking wad of waste material. His foul flesh is a gruesome gunky green color made up of grimy globs of garbage. Looking over his sculpt, you can make out food containers, fruit rinds, mold, mushrooms, bugs, and a whole lot of other icky items. On some areas, Muckman seems to be eroding away, leaving you able to see bones and blood vessels. Muckman still wears the rotten remains of his sanitation worker's suit. Around his right shin is seemingly an ash bin anklet. Muckman's left leg, however, seems to be too inconsistent to form a functional foot, so it has absorbed a manhole cover to use as a tentative trotter. Muckman has the same 7 points of articulation that most TMNT figures have, including his neck, shoulders, forearms, and hips. One of Muckman's extraordinarily egregious features is his removable skull cap. When you pop the top off of his skunky skull, you can fill his mucky melon with mutagen. By replacing the skull cap, the mutagen is forced out through his mouth, causing Muckman to slobber slime all over himself. And if real Ralphing action isn't enough for you, Muckman's innards can ooze out of the hole in his stomach too. Simply pour the mutagen into his muck pack, i.e. the garbage can he wears for a backpack, and it will flow through a series of holes in the muck pack, his upper back, and finally out through his belly. Depending on the consistency of your mutagen, the slime flow may be a lengthy process, but actually seeing the globs of gunk gushing from his guts is totally worth the wait. In addition to the muck pack, Muckman comes with 2 other accessories. One of them is the Muck Gun. The Muck Gun is a bizarre bazooka crudely constructed from discarded cans. Both the barrel and the scope of the Muck Gun have a hole running straight through them, so if you're not done playing with protoplasm, you can pour more mutagen into each hole, making Muckman even messier. Muckman's final accessory is a large part of what really makes this figure for me: Joe Eyeball. I'm fond of all of the TMNT figures that came with little buddies like this, but I freaking love Joe Eyeball. What's not to love? Joe has a total of 3 eyeballs, 1 on each antenna, and another on his tail. This grody little guy's got a great big toothy grin on his face, as well as 8 appendages, one of which he's waving at you with. Joe Eyeball fits perfectly into Muckman's muck pack, accompanying his contaminated keeper on all of their sewer safaris. If you toss a little mutagen into the muck pack, Joe Eyeball plunges right into his personal putrid paradise. Between Muckman's many uses of mutagen and his faithful filthy friend Joe Eyeball, I am hard-pressed to find a serious flaw with this figure. Do you love Muckman? Do you hate him? Either way, I'd love to hear all about it. Go sign up and sound off on the forums at www.radicalretro.com right now. Radical Retro Turtle Toy Talk is a part of the Pop Culture Network. which is where you'll find a whole mess of awesome material covering toys, comics, TV and film, and all of the awesome stuff you love. Speaking of all the awesome stuff you love, you can find plenty of that at the Pop Culture Network's own store. If you're down with Pop Culture Network and want to show a little support, make sure you check it out. For Muckman and Joe Eyeball, stay rad and smell you later.